Good morning. I'm doing this way I can share it at multiple sites. You know, the Federal Bureau of Investigations needs to quit being derelict on 18C2. In fact of the matter is, instead of doing their jobs, what they're doing is sitting around fantasizing, contemplating ways to get out of doing their job. You know, the Federal Bureau of Investigations used to stand for integrity, amongst other things. You know, there was a lot of good federal agents, and this here Trump firing Comey knew, or should I say James knew ahead of time what was going to come down once he got removed, because he was one of the ones, along with Agent Mullins, that was covering this up. How the FBI uses federal resources to steal real estate from hard-working American citizens. This is what the FBI does. You know, they put on this show in the public to make themselves look like they're all that, when they use federal resources to commit murder, to take and steal from American citizens. That's what the Federal Bureau of Investigation has been doing for the last 20 years. And then they go off on their phone and they think I don't have the equipment to hear both sides of their conversations. Oh, before the man died. Excuse me, just because John Wright wanted that piece of property before he died, excuse me, he could have offered to buy that piece of property off of me, and I'd have gladly sold it to him instead of stealing it from me. That's not the way to go about it, Bureau. You don't steal from hard-working American citizens. That's not the proper way to handle yourself. Oh, and then, you got connections? Guess what? I got connections too. I've got more connections than you can comprehend, for one. For two, guess what? Your false report to Social Security Administration, I've already told them about it. I'm not able-bodied. Yes, I walk with the cane. Yes, they made me do an MRI in 2018. You know, this is how the Bureau works. They think, oh, well, we can make more false reports. Oh, yeah, I'm winning. And wait till Carolyn Rickert comes on. Because you know what? She's really pissed off that you brought her family into a bureau. But that's how petty you are. You're nothing but a bunch of petty little whores. You know, I have respect for the honest, hard-working federal agents that have even said that you're stupid for doing this. Has messaged me on Facebook. They don't know why you're trying to do this. Because that old geezer that's been with the Bureau for 20 odd years next door, going off on the phone about fact. In 93, they started fabricating my record one charge at a time as a means to get me out of the way to get Mary J. Wright's estate from me. Then Dana Janelle created concurrence because she wanted the piece of property that her daughter dreamt of that I bought off Rosetta Elshire. And now they're grabbing the straws, doing everything they can to try to discredit me in the public. This is what the Federal Bureau of Investigations is doing. You know, they even go as far as take and have people post tools and stuff lower and items lower and eat shit sandwiches on items, so people don't buy the things that I post for sale to provide for my family. You know, just like the identity theft. They took and told my daughter and stuff, oh, if you don't work with us now, we got to charge you for identity theft. 1512, you coerced her into making those false reports and the theft of the identity, dumbass. So you're the one that gets charged, Agent Edwards. How you like that? You see, that's why I'm doing this video, to where I can share this at multiple sites before I get my shower and stuff this morning. You know, the thing is, again, the Federal Bureau of Investigations was a very respectable agency at one time of day. But now you got psychopaths like this agent here on Mulberry Street that makes up lies about, I'm worried about I ain't worried about your fucking vehicles, you dumbasses. I'm worried about my family. And no, federal resources is not intended to steal real estate from hard-working American citizens. Federal resources is not meant to commit murder and attempted murder. Sorry. You know, instead of doing your jobs, you're sitting around contemplating ways of getting out of doing your job. And guess what? I've got a lot more connections too, Mr. Dunn. And your son is going to go to prison for the theft of my mother's rings if they don't get returned. That's what's up. Plain and simple. My signal device is more sophisticated than what you got, Bureau. That's why you can't detect it. Well, Jim Justice, on your subject, the reason the state of West Virginia owes me $13.5 million is because the state of West Virginia wrongfully incarcerated me over those 20 years on false charges. And my witness heard your wife admit that you all owe me that, as well as everything else that's in the restitution. As well, she's a witness that Cardinal of the West Virginia legislation failed to take and show up with the paperwork on CC 181647. As well as she has seen the paperwork where Jerome Powell owes me $9.5 million that I won in 1998, that you're paying these special agents and your little interns out of the interest of, and once that $9.5 million is gone, you'll have to lay those off. And that's why you're scrambling, trying to find a way to get out of coming up my money, Bureau. Well, no. The gig is up. And if I wasn't a United States magistrate, they could charge me, but they know that I am. So what are they doing? They're scrambling, grabbing at straws, trying to get me out of my position. It's the oldest trick in the book. Ask Tommy. Ask Agent Mullins. Well, that's all for this video. Jim, I'll be expecting to see you here in the near future at my place on Broadway. I'm not in Fairfax, Virginia. I'm not in all the other places that Facebook's noticing that the FBI is logging in from. Especially Mr. Edwards over here using the signal device from 134 Broadway. Yeah, get a life.